The heart of La Rinconada, Peru sits at the sky's edge and holds tales of gold, hardship, and the extreme conditions its residents face daily. Join us as we uncover the reality behind the dream of finding fortune. La Rinconada is a really special and different place on Earth. It's so high up that it feels like it's the nearest spot to the sky without actually leaving the ground. People live their lives way up above the clouds, in a place where the air is way thinner than what we're all used to breathing. Just picture this. You're standing at a breathtaking height of 5,100 meters, or roughly 16,700 feet up. Up here, the air is so thin that when you take a breath, you only get about half the oxygen your body needs compared to being at sea level. To live in such a tough, extreme place, the people here have undergone some amazing changes. Their bodies have adapted by making twice as many red blood cells as people who live in lower places. This helps them get enough oxygen from the thin air. The environment in La Rinconada is harsh and unyielding. No tree is in sight because they can't grow here. This is because the air pressure is too low for trees to survive. This tiny town, tucked away in the Peruvian Andes, is even higher than Mont Blanc, which is the highest peak in the European Alps by a significant 984 feet. La Rinconada feels like a completely different world from what most of us know, far removed and isolated from the fast-paced, noisy life of modern cities. However, it's also a place with its own set of dangers, including crime hiding in its shadows. Despite these harsh conditions, there's a strong reason people are drawn to this remote place: the hope of finding gold. In this far-off location, around 50,000 people have set up their homes among piles of trash, all of them dreaming of striking it rich. This town's story isn't just about the challenges of living in such an extreme environment. It's also about the incredible ability of human beings to adapt to almost any condition in the hope of a better future. For those of us accustomed to living at or near sea level, attempting to ascend more than 6,560 feet in a single day could lead to altitude sickness, a condition not to be taken lightly. The initial signs of this illness include a throbbing headache, a sense of dizziness, and an uncomfortable feeling of nausea, soon to be followed by coughing fits. One might also struggle to catch their breath. It is important to seek immediate medical attention if the condition worsens rapidly, as it can lead to dangerous fluid buildup in the lungs. Additionally, at such high elevations, your body tends to lose water at twice the normal rate through the simple act of breathing, making it critical to drink plenty of fluids to stay hydrated. Our journey takes us to a mining town, a place deeply wounded by the relentless hunt for gold. This quest has harmed nature around it, leaving the land and water poisoned. Dangerous chemicals, such as cyanide and mercury, have been used to pull gold from the earth, ruining the ground and the water needed for growing food. Aware of the dangers and the absence of basic services, we packed plenty of safe-to-drink water and food before exploring this fascinating yet difficult area. Inside your body, the amount of oxygen your blood carries is crucial. It's best if this oxygen level stays between 95% and 100%. When it falls below 80%, vital organs begin to struggle, essential organs for staying alive. Near the town, garbage extends as far as the eye can see. Areas that might have once been natural and beautiful are now buried under mountains of waste. The moment you arrive, an overwhelming stench surprises you, making it clear the pollution problem is severe. Walking around is a challenge. You quickly feel lightheaded and nauseous. With daylight, the visibility of trash cluttering the alleyways becomes even more apparent. Despite the season being summer and our proximity to the equator, the earth underfoot is frozen solid. In this town, temperatures plummet to as low as 14 degrees Fahrenheit during the night. Residents find shelter in tiny metal shacks, devoid of electricity or any means to stay warm. These dwellings lack kitchens and bathrooms. Instead, thousands of residents must rely on a handful of communal toilets and bathing facilities. The living conditions here are stark. Each day, people face the cold reality of their environment, battling both the physical and health challenges that come with residing in such a place. Despite these hardships, The community's persistence is a testament to human resilience. In this high-altitude town, a complex system of hoses weaves through the streets like a giant spiderweb, carrying precious water from the glaciers above down to the residents. It's a striking sight, showing how people adapt to the challenging environment. This town seems to have drawn folks from all corners of Peru, each person arriving with dreams of wealth. They've been lured by the glitter of gold, especially during the years 2001 to 2012, when the price of gold skyrocketed, multiplying by 6. This gold rush caused the town's population to swell dramatically. However, the reality for the 50,000 souls who call this place home is starkly different from their dreams. The town struggles with basic infrastructure. There's been little to no effort to develop the necessities for a booming population. Streets often become indistinguishable from trash dumps, as there's nowhere else for waste to go. This contributes to a grim living situation, with refuse cluttering the paths and byways. One of the most pressing issues here is the complete absence of a sewage system. Wastewater freely flows down streets, a stark reminder of the town's neglect. The local soccer field, a central gathering place, sports artificial turf instead of natural grass, a necessity given the inhospitable conditions for plant life at such altitudes. This town clings to the sides of a mountain known locally as La Bella Durmiente, or Sleeping Beauty, a poetic name that belies the harsh realities of life here. The landscape is dotted with haphazard gray structures that seem to blur into the sky. For many residents, the daily commute involves a grueling trek uphill to the mines, a journey measured not just in miles, but in sheer perseverance. The mines themselves are perilous, filled with toxic gases and the ever-present risk of cave-ins or accidents. La Rinconada has been dubbed the Devil's Paradise, a moniker that reflects the deadly allure of gold and the town's shadowy governance. Illegal mining operations dominate the economy, operating with impunity. Warning signs starkly declare that intruders near the mining tunnels risk being shot, a testament to the lawlessness that pervades this place. In La Rinconada, a rule is in place that stops women from working inside the mines. This rule is based on a local belief that the mountain, referred to as the Sleeping Beauty, gets jealous when a woman touches its gold, potentially causing natural disasters like earthquakes. Instead, women make a living by sifting through the piles of rock and dirt that have been discarded outside the mine, hoping to find small bits of gold left behind. When you see children around the mountain, it's easy to spot them because of the frostbite scars on their faces from the cold, showing they, too, are looking for gold in the harsh conditions. Near the places where mining activities take place, one can notice statues adorned with items such as dried flowers, fruits, and bottles of alcohol. These statues are meant to symbolize the mountain deities. Miners approach these statues to offer prayers, hoping to be safeguarded against various perils they face within the mines. These dangers include the risk of explosions, the collapse of mine tunnels, or health issues caused by inhaling toxic gases. Unfortunately, such incidents are far more common in this area compared to places that have stricter safety measures in place. In the unfortunate event of a miner's death, their family receives a compensation of approximately $600, which is a relatively small sum considering the magnitude of their loss. In La Rinconada, the method used to compensate miners is quite unconventional and might be surprising to many. Unlike typical jobs that provide a regular salary, miners do not receive a consistent income. They adhere to a traditional and somewhat informal system known as cachorreo. Under this system, miners work for an entire month without receiving any immediate payment. At the end of this period, they are given a single day to mine on their own behalf, and any gold they discover during this time serves as their wages for the month. The amount of gold, and consequently the money they earn, depends solely on their luck on this particular day. Some miners attempt to increase their chances of finding gold by secretly setting aside any promising rocks they come across during the month to later collect on their designated day. It's crucial to recognize the significant environmental and ethical costs associated with gold production, which are often overlooked. The process of creating a simple gold ring, weighing roughly 8 grams, results in approximately 20 tons of waste material. The environmental impact is starkly visible in the mountains, where a lake has turned acidic and taken on a reddish hue. This pollution occurs when iron sulfate from the waste rocks mixes with water and oxygen. This This transformation not only signifies the direct consequences of mining on the landscape, but also underscores the broader environmental and health hazards associated with the extraction of precious metals. People living near the mining areas have no choice but to use water that's mixed with dangerous things like mercury and cyanide for growing their food and for their animals to drink. This pollution is a big part of why people in these places don't live very long, with an average age of just 35 years. But it's not just the bad chemicals that are causing problems. Because they live so high up, the air is much thinner and doesn't have as much oxygen as it does down below. This makes their blood thicker, which is really bad for their health and can cause serious illnesses that might lead to death. Looking at La Rinconada from afar, you might think it's a place where you could quickly find gold and become rich overnight. But the truth of living there is not as exciting as it seems. Most people who go there hoping to make a lot of money end up disappointed. They don't end up making the wealth they dreamed about. Even though this is happening, the government in Peru hasn't done enough to stop illegal mining or make life better for the people working in such tough conditions. Yet, even with these hard truths, more and more people are still moving to La Rinconada. They're drawn by the hope that maybe they'll be the ones to strike it rich, to find that big chunk of gold that will change their lives. This keeps them coming to this very high place, the highest place where people live anywhere in the world. This situation shows how hard life can be near mining sites. The water pollution affects not just people, but also their crops and animals, leading to a cycle of health problems and poverty. The lack of clean water and the thin air high up in the mountains add layers of difficulty to their daily lives. These challenges don't just affect the miners, but their entire families, who live in constant hope for a better future, despite the odds. The dream of finding gold in La Rinconada pulls people from all over, hoping for a chance to escape poverty. It's a powerful dream that makes them face incredible hardships, from dangerous work conditions to living in a place where the very air is hard to breathe. The promise of gold brings them to the highest human settlement on Earth, a place of extreme beauty and extreme difficulty. Yet the reality is often harsh, with the dream of wealth remaining just that for most, a dream. Thank you for journeying with us through La Rinconada's highs and lows. If this story touched you, consider supporting initiatives to improve its inhabitants' conditions. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that brings hidden stories to light. Together we can make a difference.